Welcome back to Moses TV. Today, thanks to the lovely Catherine, we're having an interview where I'm not having to hold the camera and show you everything all at the same time, so hopefully this will be a little nicer interview. But today, as promised, we have a very special interview with the one and only Tashi Dawa! So, Tashi, this is your second year with us here at Vale, Moses.
Yeah.
Last year to teach, and you're here again this year for your second year.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me, and tell all the lovely folks watching through that little lens there, what on earth are you doing here? Why do you like teaching?
Why do I come back? You know, the first time I came, I was, a little bit taken aback at how spacious it was here, and how this little family had made so much, had dreamed something so big and manifested something so great that I was a bit awestruck and a bit intimidated.
We intimidated you?
Yeah. But wait. And then your children absolutely seduced me into becoming part of the family, and I don't want to leave. In fact, I might just stay. If there's space. No.
There's plenty of space. We'd obviously love to have you all the time, but you're in high demand everywhere, all over the world, so we get you when we can. So apart from the kids and the space and everything else, what would you describe about this place? What, for you personally, do you enjoy about being in this little valley in the middle of the forest of Portugal? What is it that you enjoy most?
Well, I think, there's ways of being in the land, in the countryside, and you can come to a place like this and feel kind of small, insignificant, as though, gosh, the bush doesn't really think about me, it doesn't really care if I exist or not. And so you get that kind of expansive, the universe is really big and I'm just a little person kind of perspective. And then over time, as you get to know, you guys get to know about how these domestic spaces have been built straight from the land has been integrated into the way that humans live and the way that humans need spaces built, and then Vanetta and her incredible knowledge of the elements, you start to feel as though, hang on, I'm a part of this, I'm not aside from this, and I've been invited here. I feel as though I'm welcomed not only by you guys but by the landscape, because the rivers and valleys and the mountains and landscapes of my body are recognised by this landscape, and if I recognise this landscape, it recognises me and I recognise it. And I think over time, and it's only been a couple of weeks, relatively short time to spend as a little earthling on the earth in this particular piece of earth. And yet I feel as you're walking every day, you're watching, especially in spring, the whole place just open and become alive with colour and incredible patterns, and so it's totally engaging. Even just a little walk from the river to the house is totally amazing, because there's so much and you feel that infinite spaciousness in every direction. And then that translates into the yoga space, because the people that are visiting here, the students, they are totally affected by the landscape. And then they are really affected by the embrace of the family here, the intimacy that is always on offer, and the informality that you can just be yourself. You don't need to play a part, you don't need to play a role, you don't need to fake anything. And then everybody's settled. By the time they reach the yoga mat, it's really very easy to guide people into exploring their own bodies and appreciating the space and the depths of what it is to be human. So the place makes the yoga, and the yoga lets you appreciate the place.
Oh, that's really lovely. On a kind of practical level, we've just, over the winter, built this little space here. Those of you that have been here before, you've seen it, and you've seen some of the little shots on the video, but what's it like for someone that's dedicated their life to practicing in many different spaces all over the world? How did it feel to practice in this space, floating above our vegetable garden?
Well, I remember last year this was a veranda. It had kind of that infinity feeling out to the valley, and you felt like if you were light enough, you could just float off. And the valley, I think, this expanse of the valley has held, even though we've now got walls and windows and doors, but the expanse of the valley and the vista that you have, the feeling of space that you have, that I think is essential when you're practicing, because you're trying to develop this spaciousness on the inside, and then when it's recognised on the outside, you just open your eyes and you really feel and see space. And there's lots of beautiful places to practice around the world, and this is definitely one of the best. Definitely!
We paid her a lot of money to say that. No, not really. Well, it's been amazing to have you once again, and you've got to come back as soon as possible.
I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to come home.
You're going in about half an hour.
Yeah.
That's why I did this little interview before you go, so you've got evidence that you're here. And but just anyway, for record, thank you very, very, very much.
Namaste.
Loving the cinematography, Catherine.
She's a natural.
She
Is she a filmmaker?
must be. She's doing one now.
Yeah.